Welcome back, y'all, and happy Saturday. This is the Bluechip Breakdown, and we're your hosts, Bull and P. And today we're going to be recapping the orange and white game for 2025. Y'all, please do us a very big favor. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So obviously, without Nico, you know what I'm saying? Like we know that he's not going to be a part of this team. Coach Heupel, I think he did a pretty good job with how he handled the whole situation. I think that he handled it with a whole lot of grace and poise. Made sure to thank Nico. It just kind of is what it is now moving forward. And we're going to get into how we felt because we actually got to watch the orange and white game. So I couldn't watch it as closely as I wanted to because I was cooking and just doing a whole lot of other different things. But anyway, I want to shout out to, who was that, P? Was that Ballfather on X?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it was Ballfather who, is a true champion, who's a true hero. For him to go out of his way to be able to hold that camera up like that over the course of, that whole practice session, that's what I'm talking about. So,
yeah.
Definitely want to shout him out for that. Let me go ahead and get into the chat because we have one right here. And the first one is from Let's Go saying, well, I wish that they were streaming. I couldn't even get to watch it. Yeah, so I kind of just said that. And really, I probably should have came back to the channel just to let y'all know that you could have watched it there. But like I said, it's been a very, very busy day. I had a whole lot of things going on. So from Briston Hatfield, hope that I'm saying that right, asking, do I think other teams will want to pick up Nico after this? Pete, would you like to answer that question?
He said, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to be. He's not going to be in the portal any longer than he has to be. Like, he may already have a deal in place, whatever. Like, as soon as that thing opens, on Wednesday or whatever.
Wednesday,
he's either going to be gone then, or it's going to just be a matter of when they want to announce it. But yeah, he's going to be gone.
Yeah.
There's probably not a team really out there that wouldn't take him. There might be a select 2 or 3 teams, but probably pretty much every team would take him for sure.
So, you know what? It's funny because he's not even officially in the portal yet. But if y'all go look at the portal rankings with 24/7 Sports, which y'all know, I don't just go by that. That's not what the college coaches go by. But he's number 1 in the entire portal. He's over Carson Beck. So we're talking about players that have already gone. He is number 1, even after everything. I don't think the people too much, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think people care as much. Like, I think the people want to win. So, yeah. And also, I have to also throw this out there because there's been a whole lot of smoke about Coach Lanning at Oregon being the guy who maybe told Heupel that Nico was, like shopping, or his team was kind of shopping him. Don't know how true any of that is, but a lot of folks are trying to paint Lanning as some hero. Let me tell you something. Dan Lanning is like best friends with Kirby Smart, and if Dan Lanning ends up with Nico, I think it's kind of hard to understand, you know what I mean? But either way, man, like it just is what it is now. But like bridges are burnt, and we have to move forward with the team that we have currently. I know we'll have some more Nico questions though, so let me see what other people are saying as well. I want to make sure that we get to as many people early as possible. So from GBO Cal Beach, you're saying that USC and Notre Dame have come out already and said that they do not want him. So I've seen that in some places. I don't know how true that is. I personally don't know how. So who is USC's quarterback? Who's Oregon's quarterback? Who's Notre Dame's quarterback? I don't even know who they are, honestly.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know who they are either. But as far as Nico, I think he's a guy. He probably already has a deal.
Yeah, probably. He probably has some set up.
Yeah, and these teams that maybe potential landing spots, everybody probably knows where it's going. They probably know. Like, or if you're not getting them, you probably know you're not getting them. If you are getting them, obviously you're about to get them. So
yeah. So, and that's probably why people are saying, "Oh, we don't have any interest in all of that." You know what I'm saying? So let me also get to this one right here, saying that Oregon already came out and said that they're good with Dante Moore. Okay, we will see. Okay, so they do have Dante Moore. We'll see, man. I know that people are, people feel some type of way about the situation. I do too. I've been grieving. Like, I'm not even joking. I've been grieving all day long. Like I've gone from being pissed off. I've gone from saying Nico's going to find a way back. I've gone from being sad, but for the most part, I've just been pissed off. I've been extremely, extremely angry. So let's get to this one right here from Dwayne Mitchell saying that he sees Merklinger played cornerback he played cornerback in high school as well as quarterback. I don't remember ever seeing any clips of him playing corner, but he's probably pretty good, good enough athlete that maybe he could have done that. I don't know. But okay. So he's saying I hope that he can find his rhythm. Heupel is a good teacher. Yeah. So interesting points. All right. So P, I want to get into some of your thoughts, man, because it seems like you probably got to watch the game a little bit closer than I did. So, what are your thoughts, man? Like, let's just lay it out there. Do you think that we've got our quarterback? Just everything, like, what do you think?
Well, first of all, like you said, shout out to Vol Father.
Mhm.
And maybe we can we'll be able to post his name in the chat if you guys want to go to his Twitter. You should, you'll be able to watch,
Oh
watch what
yeah.
we watch. But it was it was kind of blurry a little bit. Like it wasn't the clearest thing, so it was kind of tough to see. Like he was recording it live, from the stadium in the stadium, so it's kind of tough to see. But couldn't really tell who was who at some points. But I went back. I was actually able to kind of watch it twice. I mean, I feel like both quarterbacks. I mean, they did some good things. They did some not so good things. I think probably GMAC had the better day of the two. I think he looked more like a natural player out there. Made some good throws. Seemed a little more consistent. Throwing off platform, doing some kind of a little bit of creative things. I think Merk, he missed some throws. I think his first throw was a swing, was a little now screen out here to the
Mhm.
left, and I think he skipped in the ground. Like it was a couple of that, a couple of things like that. Missed a couple throws as well, but also had some pretty decent throws as well. So it wasn't all bad, but I walked away feeling like we honestly probably need to go to the portal and not just to find that third option, but to go find a starter, which in my opinion, kind of exiting spring. So I think that's where we're at. I mean, like right there, that's a good ball. I think that was GMAC, I believe, that threw that
Mhm.
one. It might have been Mark. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah, and
So
then hold on, Pete. So I'm getting these highlights from VolQuest. They posted this. I just wanted to let y'all know
okay,
that.
nice.
And also, I did put that link down the side of the chat. So if y'all want to rewatch this game, or, rewatch the whole practice, you can see it there. But go ahead,
Mhm.
Pete.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think we need to go try to find a starter now. Now, who is that guy? I don't know. We really haven't. Well, I haven't really gone and looked into it yet. Like you said, I mean, I didn't want to accept that Nico was gone, so I haven't really research that, but I this is my personal opinion. I think we need to go find a starter from the portal. If that exists, it's tough to bring in a guy with only 3-4 months, whatever, to get ready to go be your guy. But because I think GMAC probably looked the best, but
Mm-hmm.
he's so slight of build. You know what I mean? Like I just don't know if he's ready to play for full season. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really the main reason. And I don't know if Merck has enough to go out there and lead us to victory consistently. I don't know if he has that it about him. But again, this is just one practice we saw, so can't
Yeah.
base off this. But I would think we need to go to Portal to go get a starter.
Yeah, so you know what, and then too, I mean, obviously, man, like anytime to where it's a spring game, it was it
Yeah.
wasn't even a real game. They only I think each quarterback might have got maybe 2 drives, might have been 3 each. It wasn't a whole lot. So it's
Mhm.
it's a small sample size. They kept things very basic. We didn't see any pistol, you know what I'm saying? It was just very, very basic. Like a whole bunch of, like you said, Pete, wide screens, fades. So maybe they didn't have the best stage to really show us what they can do. I
Yeah.
do feel like they did some nice things. Really, for me, looking at those freshmen, looking at how they balled out, and understanding that the offense was healthier than our defense was today, missing a lot more on defense than we're missing from our offense. So what that would tell me is the players who did well, on our defense that were underclassmen, they're probably going to be really, really good, but all of them are probably going to end up being very good. Rai Jackson had a couple of big catches, like he had a one-handed snag.
Yeah.
Obviously, man, Jack. So let me actually pull up these stats for y'all, just because. Also, I got this from VolQuest, and they put together kind of like some makeshift stats. It's not, obviously, it's not like a real. It's just kind of like what they were kind of divvying up. Hold on one second. Let me bring Pete back in here. I just pushed him out by accident. Give me a second. Make sure that he's in here. All right, boom. So let's talk about these stats, right? So Merck, they're saying he went 1 of 5 for 22 yards. I don't know what the R means right there. And then he went 3 of 6 for 34 yards. He did throw an interception, 1 of 2 for 25 yards with a touchdown, 1 of 2 for 3 yards. So just like a lot of underneath stuff. Then looking at GMAC, 4 of 4 for 33 yards, a touchdown. I don't know what is that? What is that R mean? Oh, okay, rushing probably. Okay,
Hmm.
yeah. So running. So he probably ran the football twice, had 19 yards. Merck ran the football, looks like once, or I'm sorry, he might have ran it twice total for about 17 yards. And then GMAC 5 of 8 for 46 yards. I don't know if we talked about that one or not. 3 or 4 for 40. Like he had 3 touchdown drives. You know what I'm saying? So he did. He looked better. I'm not quite sure. Could you tell P if he was going up against the ones on defense
Yeah,
or
I couldn't tell. I think he was going
yeah,
against the twos. I don't know if he went against the ones at all, but like I said, I couldn't tell half the time. I couldn't tell. And I
yeah,
watched it twice. I still couldn't tell.
yeah. It is kind of tough. But so as far as the running backs go, Justin Baker, he had 34 yards on 5 carries, which is good for him. Bishop didn't have any carries. That's great. I was actually kind of wondering, P, would they play Merck in this game, knowing that Tennessee is, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't even want to, I didn't want to talk about it until after. But just knowing how, how tight the situation is with only 2 scholarship quarterbacks. But so Star Thomas, he had 42 yards on 6 carries. Hunter Barnes had 17 yards on 5 carries. And I think we've got a couple more in here. So this is just kind of adding to what we just saw. So Jackson, okay, so that's Ra Jackson. He had 4 catches for 65 yards. And then Jack had 4 catches for 40 yards, 3 touchdowns, which is just ridiculous. And it looks like Travis Smith had 1 catch for 22 yards. So like I said, man, those freshmen, they most definitely showed up, stepped up. So I feel great about the future of this team, really looking long term. I'm always have this team's back. And, I think that we'll find a way to, I think that we'll get it figured out. But, I mean, it's, oh, boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah. It's I kind of left the game with a lot of questions. Just overall, just not didn't see a ton of playmaking ability out there. Like, I still don't see a guy that's going to catch a quick screen and go make 3-4 guys miss, go score. Like or take a slant, break a tackle, go score. We saw Raw had he had a good stat line. I think he had some great catches, but then you kind of see the freshman in him. If you watch him, go back and watch him every play, where he looks like he has a little bit of an issue getting open sometimes. He's kind of covered up a lot of times, but he made some really nice catches too. He had a really nice catch, went up and got it. I can't remember. I think he had 2 more nice catches. I can't really remember what they all were, but he looked pretty good making good catches. Travis Smith had a catch. I think we actually you'll see on that VolQuest highlight. If you watch that, you'll see he had a nice catch there, and they blew it dead. But I mean, he actually might have scored. This might be right here. Let me see. This is it? No, it's in it. But yeah, it's coming up. But he actually might have scored on that one. But
I think the down right there might have been Mike Matthews.
Yeah, so Mike looked pretty good.
I think that, yeah. So I think that Mike scored in a 7-on-7 period, right? It wasn't in a live period. So I don't even know if Mike even played in the real live period.
It's tough to see him.
Which is smart. Yeah, it was hard.
It's tough to see. Now, Braylon Staley, so that's Rah right there. Nice, easy catch there. But Braylon Staley,
he on his feet though.
Yeah. Well, he was in the end zone, but yeah, he missed.
Okay.
But Bray Staley, he has some burst to him. This might be Travis Smith now, but Bray Staley has some burst to him. And he had 2 or 3 drops though. Look like today.
Oh, did he?
Just some easy ones. One of them was actually being a pick. Some reason didn't catch it, and it was a pick. But I mean, he has some burst. He has some wiggle. He's gonna be a guy that's tough to cover. He just has to be consistent catching the ball. You know what I mean? But he looked pretty good. So
yeah, and then too, I mean, Staley, he missed a couple of weeks or something. You know what I'm saying? So he hadn't really been doing too much practice and leading up to it. So that could be part of it. I'm not too concerned about that. You know what I'm saying? I know that we're gonna be fine. Well, I feel like and I'm gonna actually tell you, P, who I think looked good. I couldn't see who was going up against, but Jefferson, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had a nice fade for 6 on somebody, but he looked good. At first off, it was a great pass, but the way that he looked it in and he was smooth with it. See, those are the little things that you look for. I know that he's not fully healthy just yet, but I feel a lot better about him now. You know what I'm saying? Which I never felt bad. I was just I don't know, is he going to be healthy enough to help us this season? But after what I saw today, I feel really good about that one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think he flashed. So the receivers, I think they'll be solid. We'll love to see Mike Matthews do a little more. I don't know, I don't know if he played. It's tough to even tell who was in. Like I said, because it's just a little bit grainy. You can't quite make out who it is. So I don't know if he got in, but I mean, he looked good on that. I think they're doing 1-on-1s maybe. He put a little route on somebody. But again, I think it looked like he was going against Timothy Merritt. It looked like it was number 35.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, true freshman. I mean, so, what can you take from it? I don't know, but he looked good doing it. But overall, man, I think, receivers looked solid. I think quarterbacks look solid. Still, I think we still got a lot of work to do there, though, just to get where we want to get and have a team that can go help you win games, help you, go make some tough catches and freaking put up some serious yards against some good defenses this fall.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you also have to think about it too. And this is something that I was getting to this, but with how basic that offense was, I'm thinking,
It's
okay,
very
we didn't
basic.
get to
That's
see
true.
that pistol, but so I'm thinking like, well, would we still want to run that? Like, do we just do a whole pistol install for? See what I'm
Nico.
saying? Because I think that would have definitely fit Nico's skill set a lot better than Merck's or G-Max. But I also kind of think that, like for me, Merck, and actually we can get into his film. Like he dropped back to pass last season 12 times. We got those kind of like cut ups for y'all. We could go through that. But for me, he's got some good touch. I mean, he's got some good things that we'll see. He's to me a little bit more like a Hendon Hooker than Nico was. I think that GMAC is a little bit more, and I'm talking about just how they play, just their arm talent and things like that. I think that Merck is a guy that's going to throw with a little bit more touch. Actually, I can tell you, P, for me, Merck puts me in the mind of like a Graham Mertz. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mhm.
don't know if that's a good comp to you or
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good comp. I think both kind of sneaky athletic guys.
yeah,
Pretty good arm talent. Yeah, I could see that for sure. And like I think as far as the offense too, I mean, we didn't see the pistol, but did you notice they were kind of running some of those crossing routes? We saw a little bit of that.
yeah,
Now, my take on that, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I mean, I kind of like what we're thinking, but I mean, I don't think that's going to work because we're trying to run it from wide splits. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They don't even
yeah.
have time. They don't
Yeah,
have time to cross the field.
they were maybe just trying that. I mean, I'm hoping that they were just trying that out, just to see how that looks, and they don't want to put too much on film because, yeah, like
Yeah.
you don't want to run crossing routes from 50 yards away. I mean, that's gonna take you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gonna take you 6 seconds to even cross. Yes,
Yeah.
I mean that doesn't make any. So I mean, there were some things. You know what I mean? It's there were several things. Just as I was watching, that I said I don't know. I also feel like the offensive line, there were some times where it felt like Merck was under pressure. It felt like that pressure kept coming from his right side. Who that was, I couldn't tell. Was it the right guard? We don't know who even was it in at right guard.
Mhm.
On those plays, was it at right tackle? But that's just what it felt like. It could have been coming from that left side too. But did you kind of notice that? And
Yeah.
also, did you notice who was that was getting pressure?
Yeah. So I did. When I went back and watched the second time, it looked like it was mostly Larry Johnson and Lance Hurd were your two tackles with Merck.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll say this first. I think Lance Hurd looks really good. I mean, I think he looks really good. I didn't really see, maybe but one or two bad reps from him. I mean, he looked good, man. He looks athletic. He's bending. He's playing ball. So I really like what we're seeing from Lance Hurd this year. Larry Johnson, I think he started off slow. I think he got better as the scrimmage went on. But I mean, he looks okay. I think after watching him play live, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if David Sanders beats him out, or maybe somebody else. But uh, I think that he is beatable. I don't know if he's got that spot for surely locked down, but I couldn't necessarily tell as far as the pressure. I think it was mostly coming from Larry Johnson. I think they're getting around. Like he was really trying to control the inside, and
Mm-hmm.
then he's skating, skating, skating. But then they'd eventually get around him, and then like kind of crash
Yeah.
down.
Oh yeah,
So,
beat him with some speed to the outside. That's
yeah,
something that
pretty
our
much.
offensive tackle struggled with last season too. I,
Mhm.
I think part of that's because our tackles, our offensive line in general, has been so big, maybe a little bit too big. But so this right here is coming from T. Smith, saying that Coach Heupel did say that he's going to go get a quarterback in the transfer portal. 100%, he absolutely has to. Do we think that he's going after a starter? P, you said that you think that we should do that. It's got to be the correct person. I just feel like for me, right, like just throw out some people that might potentially. I mean, who's the best guy that you could think? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's even going to hit the portal? I've seen people mentioning the guy from Georgia Tech, King, which I think that he's good, but to me, he's so similar to Merklinger. I don't think that it's that much of a difference. I don't know if
Mm,
we, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's available. I wish I had looked into that more. I would
Oh,
try to get I would definitely try to go get a freaking guy that can run. Like I can think about Aaron Nolan, but like we talked about, he's at South Carolina. He can't
yeah,
transfer, within the
dude,
SEC.
yeah, SEC, yeah,
But like I would
yeah,
like to get a
he
guy.
would be perfect.
I would like to try to get a guy with like a similar athleticism to Nico.
That
I
can,
mean that's
yeah,
what I like
that
to do.
can use their legs more. That's a
Yeah,
little bit twitchier with it. Even though
yeah,
I think that Jake, he can use his legs,
yeah. Oh,
but
definitely. He can. Yeah.
Matter of fact, P, do you want to jump into the film here
Yeah.
real quick and just kind of talk about that? Like, so we
Yeah.
can kind of show them what we've been seeing. Because I think genuinely, P, that sometimes people think that we're just making stuff up. Like, I think that sometimes people really think that we just be saying stuff just to say it. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this. So let me all right, so first play. Go ahead and let this thing roll. So what we're gonna have here, y'all, this is in RPO. This is one of Tennessee's just like we run this all the time, okay, where you're gonna get the hitches on the outside, and based off of whatever look you're getting from the defense, the quarterback will decide, will I hand this off or am I gonna throw it to one of these players? So again, man, he only had 12 dropbacks last season. I think that he completed maybe 9 passes or something like that for not a whole lot of yards. He only played versus UT Chattanooga, and I think that it was Kent State. But this is cover 3 that we're seeing. And I think that this is UT Chat. I believe everything will be in order. So you're seeing that cover 3. So obviously he knows that the underneath stuff, those hitches, that's going to be there. The players that are highlighted with the white circle, that's where the ball's going with the orange route. So he's gonna boom, okay, goes. He says, I'm gonna throw this. So I think that that's a pretty good pass, right? And what we're gonna see these plays also from the end zone angle. And Pete, you can always chime in. So seeing here, you're seeing how his eyes work. I think that he does a really good job with his eyes. Okay, he's really, really quick to go through his reads. That right there was a pretty good pass, Pete, right?
Yeah, I look pretty good. Quick release. Yeah. I mean, accurate. I like that. That's good.
Okay. So this is another run pass option. So we're gonna have like one of those, like now screens to the wide receivers. Okay. So he's gonna decide to pull it, and he can't throw it here because obviously he sees that this guy jumped into his passing lane. This is where you want a guy with some speed, with some legs and things like that to be able to fix some of these plays, because understand that since this play is broken down, there are no other options. Okay. Like everything is gone. He already went past that run. I'm not going to hand this off. He went past the pass. He said, I can't pass it. So now he has to use his legs, or he's got to improvise. Like he's got to do something to make this into a positive play. So, he wasn't able to do it right there. Now, keep in mind, this is him last season as a true freshman. We'll see it again from this end zone angle. P, just stop me, at any point. You can always add to it. But you can see, obviously, offensive line was a great. Yeah, go ahead.
That's one of those plays, kind of something we talk about off air. Like, there's going to be times this year, at least for me personally, where I'm going to freaking say, man, I wish I had Nico right there. Like, this is a play out. Like, I think you wish you had like a Nico type guy, because I think Nico would have made something happen out of that. Like, I mean, he at least would have got around that guy coming right there. Like, he would have got around his end. I can guarantee you that. But I mean, we're not going to harp on it. But I think Merk does have my lesson to him. It's just
he most definitely does.
Yeah, we need a little bit more, I think.
Yeah. So on this one, right, we're gonna have the switch route up at the top, and then down at the bottom you've got a comeback. So we're gonna go ahead and let this thing roll. And that is, I think that this is quarters coverage, just to let y'all know, but it's pretty much turning into man. But so I almost said Nico, but Merk is going through reads. So at this point, this wide receiver is open. This ball has got to get there. He either needs to, and see, like I think that for Merk, he might need to anticipate people coming open a little bit quicker, because he doesn't have that arm like Nico, or and I hate to keep on going back to it, but he doesn't have a really, really strong arm where he can see it late and just flick it and it's there. So he's gonna kind of like pass this up. And so now he's okay. Wait a second. See, so he's look back over. My bad. Let me go back. I'm gonna go back so I can make sure that y'all see exactly what I'm talking about. So boom, that's the first one. So he does a good job with his pocket presence. But then he's got another guy. As he's moving to his left, he has another guy that's open. And he can't get his hips flipped around quick enough to be able to make that throw. So again, this is him as a freshman, still very, very early on. This was the first game of the daggum season, just getting some reps out there. So he's definitely grown tremendously since then. But you can see it here. His pocket presence, he feels the pressure from his blind side. He feels it. I don't know how quarterbacks feel it, but some guys just have that feel for it. He definitely has it. He's moving to the right spots. He just missed on a couple of his reads. The question is, has he gotten to the point now where he's hitting those reads? And if those reads aren't there, has he gotten to the point where, as I'm vacating out of this pocket, I can still make something happen? That's where he's going to have to get to if Tennessee, wants to. I mean, we'll just say, win like 6 games, right? I mean, like those are the types of things that get you to winning games. And this is going to be this schedule this season. I think it's tougher than it was last year. All right, so let's see, what do we have right here? All right, so we've got kind of like similar thing here, but this is not an RPO. This is just, I think, going to be like a play action. But you've got the hitches. This is quarters coverage. I didn't highlight all the different zones, but the stuff in blue, those are the zones from the defense. So obviously the underneath stuff is there. They're basically playing off man. And this is a good job here of seeing it, right? He sees that his guy's there. We'll watch it again from this angle. All right, so boom. And, we're not going to spend too much time on it, but boom, you can see where that ball is placed at. It's low and behind that receiver. So he's throwing it low. Okay, this is that's a very safe spot to throw it at. But the problem is the wide receiver can't do anything after the catch. You're throwing it at the line of scrimmage. So you want to give them a chance to be able to make something happen after the catch on passes like that. Right here, we've got quarters coverage. Yet again, we're going to throw the football down here at the bottom on this hitch. All right. Let's see what we got right here. So boom, again, good job right there with the timing and all of that. See it again from here. Let's watch what he does. Footwork looks really good. He's looking things off. You know what I'm saying? He says, okay, I'm going to throw it because that linebacker's sitting wherever the linebacker's sitting at that makes him want to do it. So he understands kind of like the basics of Tennessee's offense. Now, this is quarters coverage. Again, this is an RPO. We're going to go to the bottom. On that hitch, we have hitches up top as well. Kind of go through. Boom. That was a better pass. But obviously, it's not throwing it down the field. So even if you do give the wide receiver a chance to make the catch, they got to be able to make something happen. So you're seeing here, the ball is a lot more accurate. It's in a perfect spot. So, he does have that arm strength to get it there. It's just not, at least last year, it wasn't super strong. And this is why, P, we heard from the insiders that, hey, look, we're going to have to, we're going to have to work on your hand placement, on the zip on your passes. This is why, P.
Yeah, I think he's looked good overall. I mean, he looked pretty good on a lot of stuff we watched. I mean, you got to remember too, like you said, true freshman. And we know how it is when we get up big. We're bringing in the backup quarterback. We're not really doing anything offensively, so he's not going to really have a chance to show what he can do a ton. But I mean, he has the ability to make plays. He does have that ability. Like you said, for us, we just want to see the growth as far as learning the playbook and having a feel for the speed of the game, which unfortunately he didn't really get much experience last season. So there may be some growing pains early for sure if he is the starter.
Yeah, so on this one, we have cover 3, and we're going to go to the hitch up top. Okay, you can see the other routes that was in there. All right, so looking things off, that one's, kind of like same thing, right? So we're just kind of showing you, we're showing you exactly who he was last season and how much he does have to grow. Again, he's got the pressure. He does a good job of standing in there. He's got a lot of things that's tough to teach. He stands in there, and the ball's a little bit low, but at the same time, I think he gets it there. So I think that's fine. Now, right here, we've got another wide receiver quick screen. All right, y'all can see how that part of it looks. So boom, okay, this is really nice here, P. He's able to get out of that. You can see the glimpses of what we can have in situations like this, right? People are coming off of the edge. He feels that, but look, he was still kind of standing solid. He's able to he's able to extend the play, and he's throwing this away intentionally. I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay, that's perfectly fine. And he will have better opportunities. I think that we're going to run plays that fit his skill set a lot more if he is our starter. So on this one, we're looking at the tight end, on that streak right there. Okay, y'all can see the other routes that are, involved with this. What's going to happen is the tight end's going to get double teamed. Mark does a good job of kind of flowing out to the right. Again, just keeping the ball out of harm's way. So seeing it again here, you can see that Mark understands, hey, double team. Now he looks back to his left, but see how quick he's snapping through all of his reads. It's quick. That's something that I love about Mark. He's going to go through his reads very, very quickly. And now he's back to this side. He feels the pressure coming from his blind side yet again. Don't know how he does it, but he feels it and he vacates out. And, to me, that's a positive play because that play was already blown up. So he kept it from being a negative play, and that's positive. So y'all can see the route combinations right here. Now, this is a place that, I will definitely say, so some of these windows, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I even really highlighted here, but I do kind of want to show you this. I'm going to do my best. So if you look at the wide receiver that's in the slot on the bottom, okay, the slot guy, I'm going to try to get it to. So look, right there, that's a window that he's going to have to be able to fit the football into because the way that Tennessee or the way that teams defenses play Tennessee is they bunch up the middle of the field because we spread everything out. You can't come back. The only thing that you can do is pretty much go to the inside or run a hitch or run something vertical. So you're going to see a whole lot of this, okay, versus Tennessee's offense. But he's got it. Has he got to the point now, Pete, where he can fit it in between, if that's a safety and then you got a linebacker underneath that window, that's kind of like an NFL window. Can he fit it there? He didn't have the confidence right now as a freshman. I think this is versus Kent State, so it's a little bit deeper into the season. Didn't have that confidence yet, but he's going to have to get it. So that's one of the other things that I'm definitely looking for is, will he get to that confidence and, he ends up taking a sack.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we just got just a few more plays. So this is another one of those wide receiver quick screens off of the RPO. So he goes to the quick screen. That was very well done. I think that he, snaps and throws really quick. You can see it again from this angle. All right, so boom, snap, boom, quick. See what I'm saying? Lightning quick. He's also on the, he's throwing that from that near hash. So those are easier throws for him. Has his arm gotten stronger? That's my biggest thing. Here we're going to try to target this tight end on on a crossing route here, Pete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think this is a very, very well thrown ball.
Yeah,
we're going to see it again. All right. So what's going to happen based off of this fake? And Merk understands this, that the linebackers in red, they're going to bite up. So as soon as they bite up, he knows that that little green area is where he can throw this. So this is how, as a coach, you can help your playmakers out. Look at how accurate this daggum pass is. This really is what we need for him to do. And I think that he can do it. And, I feel like he will do it. But that's it. Like, that's all of his dropbacks and all of his passes and everything from last season. So, we'll hopefully y'all did enjoy that. I'm curious what everyone's thoughts are on it. But P, just kind of like after looking at that, which I know that you've already seen it, you kind of know where Mark is at. But do you still feel like Tennessee needs to try to go and target a starter? And that's the other thing that I wanted to do is bring up the transfer portal and show y'all who's actually out there at this point.
Yeah, I think we need to go try to target one if we can. It's kind of a tough spot to be in, obviously. But I think we need to go target as a starter because just based on what I saw from Merk today, which again we didn't see, any other practices, so we really don't know where he's at. But just going based off the assumption that it's going to be his first time as the starter, he's basically like almost like a true freshman almost as a starter. He's going to have a lot of growing pains, and he doesn't have quite the athleticism that Nico had that could kind of bail him out. And some of his kind of freshman mistakes and things like that. It's going to be tough for him to really get going unless he can really pick up on, the mental aspect of it. Like I said, making some quicker or not quicker reads. I think he makes really quick reads, but squeezing the ball into some tighter windows. I think he has to get better at that. I will say I like that he's very decisive. He's very decisive as a true freshman.
Yeah,
he looks, hey, I like it. I'm throwing it. I don't like it. Where's the next guy? Where's the next guy? He's very decisive. So I think if he keeps that, he has a chance. But I would definitely go try to target a starter.
Yeah. You know what? We will see. I don't know if I'm even going to. I think that we might kind of talk about some of the transfer portal stuff later on. But I can just tell y'all. If y'all go look at it. It's not. And the only reason I don't want to do it is because you have to scroll and scroll and scroll to even get to the people that haven't already picked the school, and it would probably just take a little bit too long. So we'll just kind of like move on, man. And I do want to. We can kind of go through. So obviously, man, we had a whole lot of visitors. So this is the list that we had up before. I'm curious to see how these visits went. It sounds like from some of the early stuff, Pete, it sounds like the visits went well. I want to talk to Hauser and see how did his visit go. I don't know if this is the first time up in Knoxville, but it seems like he was excited about it. So that's a big deal. But do we make any progress with these players? And Pete, have you heard anything here?
No, I haven't heard anything about really any of the recruiting stuff in a while. But I know we had a lot of, there's a lot of good-looking bodies up there. I know one of these guys, like the number one athlete in 2027. Like, I'm not sure his name. I know he's up there, and so we saw Heupel on some of those Twitter posts before the game during the ball walk. Shaking those guys' hands, giving them hugs and stuff, hugging the mamas and stuff like that. So I think he's doing the best he can to land some guys. We just gotta. We got to make sure we close out strong in this 26 class and get a good head start in 27 class, man. Because we got to get some guys.
Let me get to this one because I have actually seen this one popping up in the chat. I'm gonna try to go back through and get to some more chats as well. But this is from Adam Fowler saying that Gastamore doesn't have a school yet. So, hey. Oh man, I've actually seen that a couple of times. And people, people are trying to brighten us up. People trying to make us laugh. Yeah. That is so funny. All right, so let me get to my dog G White right here. He's saying that it's hard for him to I think that Merklinger would end up 76 in passing in 25, like Nico went in 24. I also don't trust a transfer guy that isn't tempo spread coach. So I think that those are interesting points because
Great
P, you
point.
kind of brought this up earlier. Whenever you bring in a guy to this system, they're only going to have a few months to learn it. So it's just, I don't know that it's if it would even be worth it to even try to go get a starter. I think that you have to roll with what you have, and then you have to hope that you can go and get a guy that's going to be fun being a backup. I don't know, like, or maybe you can go try to find a starter and say, hey, we're going to bring you in and we're going to let Merck kind of start the season off. But whenever you figure it out, then you're just going to take Merck's job. Maybe, I don't know. It's a horrible situation. Like it's not. I don't know. And I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. It is a really bad situation. We haven't even talked about who might potentially leave. I don't know. Do you even want to talk about that, P?
Well, I told you. I don't think anybody's going to leave.
Okay.
But I mean, I know you feel differently about that, but I think people are gonna stay. I think everybody has showed up today, played hard. I think these guys are gonna stick around. I do.
Hopefully so, man. Like, I'm hoping that everybody does stay because I don't think that we can afford to lose anybody. We just saw that Dayton Sneed, he's leaving, and he's a walk on guy, but he was a walk on guy that I felt like Tennessee kind of needed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I think he's a guy that Tennessee kind of needed just because we're a little bit shorthanded at the wide receiver spot. So now we're talking about we have to go out, get us a wide receiver or two. Probably a vet. You got to go get you a quarterback. I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd pretty much take whatever you can get if you feel like they can play, whether they're starting caliber or whether they're backup caliber. If they want to come here, you just let them come. I guess for me, it's also kind of difficult. How could we go and get a starting caliber quarterback when they're going to ask for pretty much what Nico asked for? They're going to ask for more than $2.5 million. I mean, more than likely, like if they're going to be starting caliber, that's just like
very true.
That's just the going rate. So I don't know. Do we have the funds? And if we do have the funds, I guess I have to circle back to this, P. If we have the funds, then why didn't we pay Nico? Is it because he didn't show up to practice? And even though he didn't call in, which is horrible, like not showing up is one thing if you're sick or if you call, but you always got to call. Like I think we all understand that. But there had to have been so many things going on behind the scenes because even I've felt just in listening to people kind of close to the program, and whether it's fans or whatever, it feels like there's it's almost like this eerie joy about Nico leaving. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I mean that's
or no.
Let's be honest. I mean, there's a large portion of Tennessee fan base that just I don't know, like really quick to turn on people. You know what I mean? Like just really quick to just I don't know. I don't know what the word is. I mean, obviously, Nico left.
Yeah,
people are mad. But I mean, I'm not. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm not. I'm not necessarily blaming Nico. I mean,
no.
I'm more so blaming like people that are kind of managing him. Is more so what I'm blaming because I don't know for sure if he even wanted to leave. He might have still wanted to be here, and he was drug out of here. So we don't even know. People are kind of throwing shade towards him, but yeah, I don't understand the joy as if we're going to be better off without him. I don't. I don't see that as the case at all.
Yeah, that's I don't even know what to correct. I don't even know how I could word that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know how to even put that into words without it just sounding crazy. But I mean, if you think about it, there was a time when people wanted to bench Hendon Hooker. Oh, get him out of here. Milton, get him out of here. We're ready for Nico. Then Nico comes in, get him out of here. Yeah. He sucks. You know what I'm saying?
They want more.
Gaston comes in, throws a pick. The first play of Alabama, Nico has to come bail us out. But people tend to overlook that. But I'm just saying, it's like it does kind of feel like we are very, very quick to throw people under the bus, just like really quick. And I'm not like that personally, but I just think that we're gonna see, man. I mean, I hope that we have some very real answers for what this season is going to look like. I don't personally, at this point, I can't sit here and say that the team is necessarily better without Nico. Not from an on the field perspective. Was he a problem inside of the locker room? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like
on the field perspective. Well, the perspective is there. On the field's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like,
there are other perspectives. Trust me, because that locker room means a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that people are up in arms about, And I don't even feel like I haven't talked to any players that have said that they're mad at Nico. The only player that I feel like is actually mad at Nico is Miles Kitselman. I could be off on that, but he's the only one. Even listening to Ariana Carter speak, he was like, "That's my brother for life." I just kind of like, I'm more like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And I'm not just looking at it from a player's perspective. I'm looking at this from Tennessee's perspective. I don't think that people understand, like, this is a huge deal. This is a huge deal. Now, can the team rally and come together? That's what we'll see. I'm right here with them, P. I know that you feel that same way. We're right here with them, but we're gonna have to rally. It's gonna have to be stepping up. People got to step up everywhere. People are gonna have to play out of their minds everywhere, just to kind of make up for all of that. We got to knock the freaking transfer portal out of the park. We got to go get people who can play in a very, very major way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't really lose guys that we need. If we can just hold on, if we can hold on until those younger guys get older, I feel like we could be, feel like we're still right there. I mean, that's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, we're right there. And I mean, I know we didn't really talk a ton about this about the spring game, but I mean, I think the run game looked pretty good. I think all the backs ran the ball well. Justin Baker looked good. I think
Yeah.
Star looks good. We saw Peyton Lewis flash. I didn't happen to notice Dwayne Morris, but I think he had a few carries according to your stats you posted. Like I said, it's hard to see who was who. I could tell the other guys just kind of based on their body, and sometimes you could hear the announcer say who it was, but. I think the run game looks pretty solid, and then I think the defense looked pretty good as well, and that's with a lot of guys being out. I think there's a lot of team speed over there, I think the D line they didn't get just pushed around. I think a lot of times they're penetrating, getting some decent knockback too. So,
And
I
that
think
was
the
one of the
defense
things
will
that
be
we was
good.
definitely kind of worried about was, how is that D
Yeah,
line going to look, right?
yeah, and that's like I said with however many guys out, I mean, with a whole bunch of guys out. So, I think defense will still be probably kind of what we lean on this season in the
Yeah.
run game.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to. Yeah, I think that the offense could potentially look a lot like it did or the entire team could potentially look a lot like it did last season, where you kind of have to do that. I think that it would be very beneficial for us to maybe not run the pistol, but the tight sets. Like I said, excuse me, if you look at the way that Graham Mertz operates, I think that an offense that's similar with all those drags and stuff, having a quarterback that doesn't want to, I mean, obviously no quarterback wants to throw picks, but it's a little bit more cautious with that. That, it probably was not going to fit into the tightest of windows. You're going to have to scheme things up to get people open. But yeah, it's all going to have to work off of the, that running game is going to be huge. The defense is going to be huge. So going out and getting the tackle now, that's going to be gigantic. Like, we need to go get two, I think, studs to fill up in there. We can't give up really any rushing yards. It's going to have to be very similar to what it was last season. Very, very similar. But I think that in some places it's going to have to be even better. All right, so from Deborah P saying that since the Nico controversy, okay, it's been going on, I'm 100% sure that we've been working on another quarterback since then, and I expect a seasoned quarterback to enter the portal next week with a no contact tag. Yeah, so hopefully you're right about that, Deborah. We've kind of seen that hinted around, haven't we, P? I mean,
yeah,
I just
we'll
don't know
see.
who that could be.
Yeah, I
So
don't
I mean,
know.
like, let's just say, and we actually kind of played this game earlier, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
If you could, like, let's just say any quarterback, whether it's SEC or not, who do you want? Okay, number one is going to be Arch Manning. Okay, well, number one, we know that that's not realistic because he is in the SEC, but On Three has his NIL valued at $6.7 million. Okay, so that's not one that we could do. Who else is it? Would you want to go get a Carson Beck? I wouldn't.
No.
I mean, hell, he's rated lower than Nico is in the daggone portal, and he's a freaking 5th, 6th, 7th year senior. I wouldn't want him. He's a statue back there. I wouldn't want him hurt. That's just me. If I would say let's just ride with freaking Merck. But who else is there, P? Because there's got to be somebody else. What's the one kid? I think that he was at Kansas State. I think his name might be Avery Johnson. He's got long blonde hair.
Yeah, he's interesting.
He's a daggone baller.
He's not the best thrower, but he
Yeah.
he can run.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, but he's got a little magic to his game, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I might be okay with that one.
Yeah.
I might be okay with that one. What was his stats last season? It probably wasn't even better than what Nico's was last year.
I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, he's he's a guy. He'd be a splash, kind of a splash get. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really gone and looked at who's available. I mean, you got to figure.
Yeah, I'm just saying anybody. If you could take any quarterback,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I mean. When I say available, that's what I mean. Like anybody. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm trying to think of some teams. Like, who's some teams? I mean, you think of teams like Texas Tech. I mean, who's
I
their
don't know what
quarterback? I don't
Texas Tech
know.
quarterback is.
Who's their quarterback? I mean, like, I don't know. Who the heck? I mean,
I'm
who's
gonna tell
UCLA's
you,
quarterback?
the SEC has a ton of really good quarterbacks. I mean, you
They
could
do.
go through almost every team. You could just name
Yeah.
a team. Their quarterback's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can name anybody. Pavia, I mean, would you want Pavia here?
So
Especially,
that's what I'm
running
thinking.
pistol.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, if we could get a Pavia equivalent, I mean, maybe he'd be the type of guy. And the guy from
I
What he
wouldn't be
come from?
mad about Pavia.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm saying, well, we can't get him because he's
Well, yeah,
there.
I
But,
know. I
but
know.
yeah, but if we got a guy just like him, yeah, like, yeah. I mean, I think he come in. He may start.
Oh yeah, I think that he would definitely start. But so yeah, I mean, but that's the whole thing though, right? Is this that like my whole point in saying all that is outside of the SEC, I can't think of any quarter. I can't think of really any that I'm like, oh yeah,
Oh,
you know
so you
what I'm
know what?
saying? Yeah, go
Who's
ahead.
that team? Who made the playoffs? Was it who was it was like was it Boise State? So Boise State's quarterback was kind of decent, but he's a young guy. He's a young guy. But Boise
Okay,
was it
is he?
Boise State? Yeah, he was the same age as Nico. He was a redshirt freshman. And I was pretty impressed with him. I think it was Boise State, and he was athletic.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Boise State. So I go back and look at that. But I mean, heck, he's a guy.
Well,
I think
shoot.
he can
So maybe that's it then. Like we're gonna have to obviously. I'm sure that we've been tampering, just like Deborah said. Like
oh, for sure.
then we probably been working on that. So maybe that's why we had so much confidence. I have confidence with Merklinger. He didn't. I do. I'm on the same page with you. I think the GMAC looked better today, but that's just. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like both
Yeah.
of us know that. I think that everyone should know that. Doesn't mean a whole lot. I would still ride with Merk. But yeah, we're gonna see. It's gonna be very, very interesting. The transfer portal opens up on Wednesday. So we'll see how long does it take us to
Hey, is
and
it
look,
a
we're gonna have a whole lot of visits because we
is it a daggum 0% chance that we end this portal period without getting a quarterback?
oh,
Like
it's
it's
not a
zero.
0% chance.
I mean, how in the world could we let that happen? What we're gonna do? Go get a walk? I mean, I guess we could. We
I don't
have to
know
get a
how
quarterback.
I don't know how, and I don't know why we didn't get a wide receiver in the last portal. And I get it, we had more people leave than we thought, but once they left, you still had time.
Yeah,
Like get a body. Like you have to get somebody. You
yeah,
can't just, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I don't know. So yeah, if they're overly picky, if they sit on their hands, then yeah. But I don't think that they're going to do that because I think that they know. Or you know what, Pete? They could. I don't know, man. Like listening to Coach Hypo talk today, I think that he was a lot more forthcoming than he typically is. I mean, way more forthcoming.
Yeah,
He was kept on saying, he didn't keep on saying it. He might have only said it once, but it stood out to me. It was like this team is good enough. Coaches don't typically say that when the team is good enough. Like
yeah,
at least just for me, I can't think of any
yeah.
times. I mean, unless it's you could tell by a coach's personality, right? Like a Spurrier, he probably would have. Oh yeah, we're good. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of
Mhm.
those guys because he has always kept it real. But whenever you have a coach that keeps things very close to the vest, I don't know. I'm curious how concerned is he with this team and how much is he willing to do what it takes this season for us to get to a point, or does he say, man, you know, I don't even know if we can get. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Mhm.
know, but I think that this portal, the way that they handle it, to me, it will tell us a lot about their overall thoughts for this season. If they're not out there aggressively attacking it and going after some dogs, a whole bunch of them, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but it's kind of the point you keep coming back to. I mean, heck, maybe there's no more money. I mean, I don't know what the deal is, but
Yeah,
yeah, we need to go get some
that's the
freaking
problem.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, we need several
everything's over if
people.
that's the problem. That's the last problem that you're going to have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
It's all
definitely
over.
that's problem. But I mean, like I said, I mean, as long as nobody leaves, I think we're decent for the most part at every position. I mean, like I said, you could use a receiver, you could use a D tackle or two, and obviously you're gonna need a quarterback. Oh,
Hey,
hey,
wait a
wouldn't that be
second. Hey,
something?
look, that is an
Yeah,
idea
yeah,
right there,
that sure is.
right? That's an idea, son. Now
That sure is.
that isn't. But I mean, obviously, he wouldn't leave Nebraska
Wouldn't that
because
be something?
that would be something. I would take that. I would be fine with that.
Wouldn't that
I'd
be
be real
something?
good with that.
That kind of got me excited, Bray. You gave me a little glimmer of
Yeah,
hope there.
golly. Yeah. You gave me a whole new dose of hope. Okay, so I
Yeah.
mean, shoot. Yeah, now that would be huge. But I mean, there's no way that he would leave. But maybe we can find a way to. maybe we find a way to get his whole family. I think he's got his uncles on staff. I think he's got a cousin or something up there. I think he's got a few people that's on staff, and they're all like he's a legacy kid, right? I mean, like they've been going there for generations. But if we could bring over his whole family, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, it would have to be a deal bigger than Nico's, because I think that he was already getting paid more than Nico. Probably. You know what I'm saying? So it would have to be one bigger than what Nico was even asking for. So we can just scratch that one off the list.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like seriously, we're just gonna sit down and think about. Like we'll sit down, we'll get off air, we'll sit down. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna look at every team, and I'm gonna figure out because I know there's some guys out there that would make some sense. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, that's going to be it. We're going to go ahead and just wrap it up. I wanted to try to get to some more chats, but there are several of them in here, and we have to get going. But thank y'all so much for joining us today. We hope that y'all did enjoy it. Football season, well, not in football season, but the spring season is totally over with. So it's baseball season now, and then we got the portal coming up. So we're going to do our best to keep y'all up to date. But as always, y'all, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.